Hello. First time I fucked it up. That is the first time I fucked it up. I've gone into it. I didn't feel it. Hello.
This is like staring directly at you. Like.
Yeah.
Usually I can push through. I couldn't push through that one.
Fucking nailed it.
Just gonna drink my juice.
Leave that in. Okay.
Yeah, we will.
Hello, fellow mortals, and welcome to Death, the podcast about death, dying, and how it relates to us, the living. My name is Jordan Balgis, and with me, as always, are my cohorts.
Jasmine Rayburn.
And?
Robert Irvin,
All
who's
right.
a bad speller who can't spell Jasmine's name and feels really bad about it.
You work so hard, and I'm just like, you spelled my name wrong.
Excuse me?
I was like sending out the message to the group chat that we had gone live today, and I sent a screenshot of the Spotify page, and the only thing that Jasmine responded with was, "You spelled my name wrong." The funny thing is, your name is on there twice. I spelled it right once.
Yes.
No credit for that.
Yeah.
Zero out of 5 stars.
I'm supposed to be like, oh yeah, you did spell my name right that one time though. So
Yeah.
pretty good.
Supposed to be like, oh yeah, sweet, we're live. Look at us
I
go.
know.
50-50 ain't bad.
Yeah.
I was
That's
still in
half.
complaining mode from
Still a
my
fail, I
angry
think.
letter to Blue Diamond.
Yeah. You're still.
I really got to complain about stuff more. It's really fun.
These nuts drive me nuts.
Speaking of fun,
Yeah, today.
Oh yeah.
What are we talking about? Want me to say it?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I just want to say, Funner Rolls.
Fun,
Fun
fun,
rolls.
fun.
I wanted to say like Oprah.
Yeah.
you get a fun roll.
You get a Funner Roll. You get a Funner Roll.
Everybody gets a free fun roll.
Funner
Oh my
Rolls.
god, I would. If it was free, I would
Yeah.
go crazy.
Yeah, I feel like the more fun your funeral is, the more it's gonna cost.
Oh yeah, but it's like you gotta
Like exponentially
toe that
more.
line. Like, how tacky do you want your funeral to be?
As tacky as possible.
Like, if you're gonna do it all the way.
Yeah.
So,
Big.
what is a funeral?
What is a Funner Roll, Jasmine?
Basically, there's kind of a collection or a bit of a movement coming forward. People are sick of the somber affairs that funerals often are. You've probably been to a couple like celebrations of life, which is the funeral light.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
yeah.
like where it's like you're sharing
Trying to
happy
stay
memories
positive
and
yeah.
trying to focus on the life they lived rather than their death or how they died. And usually there's like a party, you all
like-
like a wake or something.
It's like a wake mixed with a parade.
Yeah.
Like
It's
that's
like
what
it's
I feel
like
like a
it's
fun
like
roll
a
should be.
flair.
You
There's
guys
like
ever been to a wake and bake?
No.
Neither have I, but
Okay.
that should be a thing.
it
if
sounds
it's
like
not
a thing. I'm sure it is for someone, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
wake and bake. I mean, if it's not a thing right now, it's gonna be in a few years.
I know of a group of friends, a guy I used to work with. I won't dox him, but his friend passed away a couple years ago, and he was a huge stoner. So everyone in the congregation went outside after the ceremony. Even like his grandmother and grandfather.
Oh,
went
really?
outside and like shared a couple joints. In the
Oh,
parking lot
really?
of the funeral home.
Wow.
People that had never smoked. before
Yeah,
in their
that's
life.
kind of sweet.
Yeah, it is. But I'm sure like there's probably some 60 or 70-year-olds that were freaking out
Yeah.
for like the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But I don't know. I think
Tripping
maybe it'd be
balls.
like nice if it was like your like
The first time you smoke weed and it's at a funeral when you're really sad, that
It might
kind of
fuck
seems
you-
like
might fuck
not
you
a
up.
good idea.
yeah, not a
But hey,
totally
they
like
did it.
stable circumstance to experiment with something.
Yeah.
But
the thought I really like that thought.
The
That is
gesture is
kinda
pretty
sweet.
nice.
Yeah.
it just brings like a little bit of who the person was into things, you
Yeah, it's
know.
just
And the
celebrating.
formality can be really alienating a funeral sometimes, you
yeah.
know, like it's just like strict ritualism, and it's like they're so expensive. So I think more and more people are like, fuck, if I'm gonna spend money on this, I want it to be
Yeah. Enjoyable.
fun for my family and friends, and also
Sad
like
is boring.
Yeah.
a reflection of who I was, you know.
Instead of going up to every person at the funeral and saying the same 4 words, sorry for your
Sorry
loss.
Sorry for your loss.
You can actually like go up and have conversations with people, and not that there aren't traditional funerals where people don't have like real human conversations, but
So it's
for
like
the most part, it's pretty stifling.
Though, I think one of the worst parts is like what you're talking about, like it's like a lot of the going through the motions of you just doing these like
Yeah.
rituals and things,
Yeah.
and like the formality of it is very like nobody wants to be there really, right? Like beyond even just being sad and being like not enjoying that, but just like it's it's a bummer in like not even the being sad about the person's death type of way.
It's just like bureaucracy's bummer.
Yeah, it's just it's not. There's no energy or life to it.
I think some people find, like, especially people who kind of struggle connecting with their emotions around loss, which is most people find some sort of comfort in the anchor of a traditional funeral. Like, you know what you're getting, and it kind of follows a similar path. And, you know, I think that might make it easier for some people. But I definitely feel that the requirement for a traditional funeral, like a traditional Western funeral, I should say, or North American funeral, is fading. You know, people are wanting kind of more personal experiences.
Well, it's the rise of individualism.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
And, yeah, like
wants to be unique.
I just saw this morning actually that for the first time ever in the States, at least, more people identify as non-religious than religious.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, as like a whole for the first time ever.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you know,
We did it, heathens.
Yay!
Yippee! So the like Catholic pageantry is really dwindling. What's like the most fun funeral you guys have been to? Do you have a most fun funeral?
God, I don't think I have.
You've
one.
ever fun funeral or wake?
No.
No, I've had like I've gone to like pleasant funerals in the sense
Sure.
that like I told that story on the first episode about when my grandpa passed away and going to like my uncle's house after and like having a barbecue and like that type of thing. I've done that at a couple things. We just get together with family and friends after, and that's always nice. But generally, no, they're always kind of a bummer for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird.
I crave the opportunity to go to a funeral.
I,
Even if I don't know the
I haven't
person,
been to
I'd
like
like to experience what that is.
a funeral, and we'll get more into it, kind of exactly what that looks like in a bit. But I have been to some really like fun wakes and like after parties and stuff like that. I had a mentor of mine passed away in Jasper, and he was a geologist who owned a rock and gem store. Taught me a lot about gems and minerals, and they played the theme to
Stones and
Jurassic Park
crystals.
at his funeral.
The theme to what?
Jurassic Park
Oh.
on like an organ.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. And then we all got together afterwards and had like a little barbecue and shared stories. It was really cute.
That is so
He was
nice.
a really cool guy. And some
That's a
really-
great song choice too.
It was perfect for him.
I regularly get that song stuck in my head randomly.
It's a really
Yeah.
good song.
I'll
And
just
on like a
I'll just
big
start humming
organ.
it. I'll
So
just start humming it at work, and people will, throughout the day, hum it as well.
They
Yeah.
don't realize it's
Because
stuck in their
because I've
head.
earwormed them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, like I did. I mean, I don't know. Like I had a friend that a guy I went to high school with that was killed. And after his funeral, like everybody from the high school and stuff went to like the bar in our town and kind of celebrated him and had conversations about him and stuff like that and got drunk
Yeah.
and played pool and all that. And I guess that kind of qualifies. That was a difficult thing, going to a funeral for somebody that was murdered.
Yeah.
You know, like that's a very different energy
Totally.
coming into it, no matter what, when you're like, you know, compared to dying of natural causes or something like that. Coffee. Oh, see, this is why I fucked up the intro. I didn't have any coffee.
Oh yeah.
I need that caffeine.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Oh, that's good too. Hazelnut. Hazelnut? Oh, I love me some nuts.
Yummy nuts.
Are we just vamping now for when Jasmine gets
I
back?
guess.
That's all right. You brought me coffee.
For
Never
myself.
Never apologize for bringing me coffee.
Oh, I didn't think I had any left.
Oh, you're the best. Told you you're a stand-up host.
That means a lot to me.
She's sitting down right now, though.
Didn't.
It's a metaphor.
Okay, let's get into funerals.
Yeah. So, did you guys have a chance to look at any of this stuff?
Not really.
Fun
I looked at some of it,
funerals.
but kind of breezed through it.
It's kind of a broad
I
term.
opened the link.
There's some quirky funerals.
Dropped the ball this week.
Yeah, a little bit.
We all did.
But interesting week.
Yeah, definitely a big one. There's
I mean, we focused on the launch and stuff. We did stuff.
oh yeah,
We did stuff.
doing it.
did
We're
things.
great.
We're okay.
Great.
We're making
I'm a
it.
good boy. I did things. I'm a good boy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. So, funeral is very fun funeral. I just can't help but abbreviate it. It's just
No.
Funeral? No, you have to call it a
it's
funeral.
Lean
just
into
right
it.
there.
You have to.
Well,
yeah.
what else would a funeral be? A funeral where the band Fun plays? You guys remember that band?
No.
Fun. You don't remember the band Fun?
Oh yes, I thought it was F-U-N.
Yeah, F-U-N period is how they
Is
spelled
that?
their name.
Yeah,
Anyway.
they were.
This
Fine.
podcast isn't about the band Fun. I didn't know. Yeah, I agree. They're fine.
They're not all
They're,
dead.
they're okay. So there's some like extreme examples. Like there's like a Santa themed funeral took place in the UK. I feel like the extreme funerals, like a lot of them are like were in England.
So is that the guy was just really into Christmas?
Yeah,
Santa?
he loved
was he
it.
like being Santa?
No, the Santa was like, I think the funeral director was dressed as Santa, and then all the pallbearers were elves and reindeer.
Wow.
That would be creepy to see.
Yeah.
Yes.
You see a bunch of elves carrying a coffin, like Santa behind them. Is that like the kids on the naughty list?
Whoa.
It
Or
says
is that just like the next step up for
There's a
after
picture
Cole?
of He-Man leading the funeral procession.
yeah, someone was like a fancy dress party,
Holy.
like a costume party,
See,
and
I
the
like that.
funeral director's dressed like He-Man. And there's Where's Waldo, a Minion,
Fucking minions.
Scooby Doo,
God damn it. They're everywhere.
a Ninja Turtle. Who's the yellow one?
Michelangelo.
Thank you. I only know Raphael. It's Adam's favorite.
You only
He's
know
the
one of
red
the Ninja Turtles? That is unacceptable.
I just kind of
It's
missed
pretty
it.
easy to extrapolate the other three, though.
Michelangelo, Donatello, Raphael, and Leonardo. They're all named after artists.
Yeah, I
Donatello,
know, but I
Renaissance
can't. I
artists.
can't remember the colors.
Donatello is purple, Michelangelo is orange, Raphael is red, and Leo is blue.
I just remember Raphael red, and also that he looks angry all the time.
Yeah, he's the fiery one.
Yeah.
Leonardo is the leader.
Donatello does machines.
D for does
No,
machines.
He does computers.
Does
That's,
computer?
yeah, that's what they say in the show.
Yeah, I
in the
thought it was
original
machines.
cartoon.
I thought it was
think
does.
he does computers.
I think it's does machines.
Yeah, either way, it's hilarious.
How would you feel
And
about people?
the weird one.
It's a real party dude.
Cowabunga,
He's a party dude.
Yeah. Which appropriate for a funeral.
Party dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one at the funeral is Michelangelo. He's the party guy. Oh, they went to McDonald's. They drove through McDonald's.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself because I'm breezing into this article, but you should probably...
Yeah. It's just like there's actually like a fun funeral planning service called iwantafunfuneral.com. And
They really missed the mark on that domain name
I know, right?
because they could have just... Can you capitalize domain
I
names?
don't think so.
Damn it. Okay, maybe
But you could do fun-URL.
Earls.
Yeah. Funerals.
And it's basically like a party planning website
Do
for
they
your funerals.
are they a funeral home or do they work with funeral homes?
They have
Jordan
hearses
asking
and stuff.
The hard-hitting questions.
They have
No, that's a
hearses and
good one.
stuff, so I think that they're probably a funeral home.
But I mean, they could just like that could specifically be their industry is just working
With
people to plan these things.
They don't
like,
actually,
and they don't do any
actually
actual
dress the body. And
yeah,
do
or the burial and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
It looks like they're like a guide. So
Okay.
to
Yeah.
helping people plan their own funerals,
Like a wedding planner.
basically.
Yes.
They said you can
for dead people.
do your
Like
10
Jennifer
steps to a
Lopez.
fun funeral. I'm not sure where this is based out of.
They have steps. Are we gonna get into the steps?
I don't really want to download their package.
What? Why not? I'll do it.
Hey, baby, you could download my package any day.
We gotta
Just like, no,
We gotta-
I don't want to.
we gotta let that one die.
No, that's fine.
We're gonna let that one
That's
die.
fine.
I'm
I can't
just trying to
find. What
figure
are you
out where
talking
they're-
about with the package?
It's at the very bottom of the.
Scrolling.
Yeah.
I mean, I am.
It looks like they just are a compilation of different resources for people to plan their own funerals. I think this is great because it encourages people to plan their make their end of life plans or their funeral plans ahead of time without it being so
Yeah, I think
spooky,
it's
right?
a little incentive if you're like trying to make it fun right? It's a little less daunting than trying to plan your funeral when you're thinking the entire time beyond like about your own mortality, thinking like, oh, this is gonna be a miserable
Oh, this is gonna
experience.
be hilarious,
crying.
or
But if you're, if it's a funeral, then you're like, oh, my family, like this is hilarious.
Even if they don't find it fun, you can have some kind of weird joy in it.
Yeah,
Knowing
exactly.
that you're gonna make your nephew dress up like Michelangelo.
Yeah, exactly. You like pick the
and it
costume.
still has
I would assume.
has the same benefits that it would have for you planning your a normal funeral, for lack of a better term. Like it still takes the pressure off of your family members to figure out what to do and how to do it, and like it's still just funeral planning.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I imagine it's still pretty expensive. Like I'm gonna download their little PDF here as soon as Jasmine's internet starts working.
so I don't have control over this.
The,
Not very
do you have a
personal.
Do you have a router in your house? Let me route that thing.
They did a survey, I guess, that involved 30,000 people. That said that 2/5 of them would like their send off to be a celebration of life. So that's like, I think everybody's had those conversations, right, with people. I don't know how many times I've had that conversation of people saying like, I want my funeral to be fun. I want it to be a celebration, right? I think that's
So what does that
pretty
look
standard
like?
for our generation. And 20% want their mourners to wear bright colors, which I guess is a pretty specific.
Like, there's different things you can do. It's like it can be the music you choose, to the food you have, to
Yeah.
costumes, like we've been focusing on. But there's also
There's a real dressing up theme going
with
a lot of these examples.
there was like a one guy. He was a magician and a funeral planner, so all of his stuff was like based around magic tricks and cards and things.
There's so many great things you could do at a funeral with magic tricks.
Also, we had talked about sawing the body in half.
Yeah, we
a couple
already-
Yeah.
episodes.
Yeah.
Shit, let's
sawing
do it.
sawing
That's
your
true.
coffin in half.
Another thing that people
Pull a
can
corpse
do,
out
and
of
more
a
people
hat.
are doing, are customized coffins.
Pull a hat out of a corpse.
Oh my god. It's just gross.
Yeah.
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 It's like doves flying out of like the dead body, cadaver, pulling a scarf
How do you get
out.
them in there? Anyway.
Okay, I don't even like magic really. I mean, it's fine. I got nothing against it, but that's what my funeral's gonna be now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're just like, I just want everyone to be really traumatized.
I just
and
pull stuff out of my
uncomfortable.
body. That's
I
all
like
I
that.
want.
I like that at the
Bees
very
flying out.
I like it that at the very top of iwantafunfuneral.com, it has in big bold letters as a header, dying is not for everyone.
Yeah,
Ah, cute.
yeah.
Pretty sure it is.
That's cute.
They're pretty cute.
Okay, sorry, you were saying, Jasmine?
Oh, I was just talking about customized coffins. That's something that's more and more common. There are some people who like build their own coffins. They're like coffin clubs where you get together
And build your coffin?
and build your coffin,
I think you
customize
pronounced coffee club wrong.
it.
No, coffin club.
Coffin
Do you want
club.
to join my coffin club?
Yeah. Oh, you misunderstood me. We're building coffins today.
Yeah, you show up with like a hand grinder and some coffee beans, and everyone
Yeah.
there's just got like hammers and they're half built
There's a
coffins
dude-
in
What
front
a
of them.
They're measuring out a
Hilarious.
coffin for a
What a
person.
wacky encounter!
What?
What sitcom is this?
So there's
That's an interesting idea.
there's
Building
a-
your own coffins as like a group.
there's a group in, I think it's a New Zealand group that's called DIY Coffins, and there's a short 1-minute documentary about
Why are they
that.
call that?
People making their own coffins.
those-
Okay. I
I
was
want
like,
just
what?
Just being an asshole.
Yeah,
I
it's
said-
called the Coffin Club, and it's worth checking out. It's really cute. People kind of come to terms with their own death by going through this process and finding a way to express themselves.
I feel like doing that kind of manual labor too well, because you'd be thinking about that to a certain degree, right?
Yeah,
And over time, you probably just you would get comfortable because you're just doing, you're zoning out and
you're just doing a craft.
sanding away or whatever,
Yeah.
and you're kind of just,
It brings you into your body.
yeah, like it'd be meditative, I guess. is
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say, I think, to a
So
certain
you don't
degree.
just like, you can't like disassociate while you're thinking about death.
Yeah.
You're like relating it to
Yeah,
your,
you're working on your coffin. It's
I'm on a website right now that's called expressioncoffins.com.
Nice.
I think it's Australian. And it's like all these like
down under.
different designs that you can choose for your, there's like animal print, If I was gonna have like a body, I would definitely have like an animal print coffin. That's hilarious.
I want my coffin to be.
Ah, there you go, Wheatfields.
I want my coffin to be an adult size race car bed.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
You could just be tucked in.
Yeah.
That
tucked
brings
in.
us to our
Extreme embalming.
extreme embalming.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
First
The weirdest
episode,
thing
I was
I've
talking
learned about like months.
Not
Months
at
and
all
months.
surprising.
No, but just really weird.
But it's
And
something
intriguing
you're
and
like,
fascinating.
it's got to be out there. But
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
don't-
I want to be in an adult size race car bed, and I want to be tucked in, and I want like my mom to sew me a pair of the pajamas with dinosaurs all over
Like
them
the
that I
onesie?
used to wear
Oh my god.
when I was like 7 or 8.
So unsettling.
Yeah,
As an adult man.
and then just like cool shades.
At least you have the good taste to put shades on. There's
Yeah.
one of these like posed.
Well, you got to. Everyone's seen Weekend at Bernie's.
Ugh,
You got to
I
have the
haven't seen
shades.
that.
Part of
You
the
haven't
bit.
seen Weekend
no,
at Bernie's?
I know.
Okay, we're
See,
gonna
I know
do-
I've got like some homeschool vibes happening here with the. Yeah, I
Little
know.
bit.
I've missed out some.
I
things.
meit's actually totally acceptable not to have seen Weekend at Bernie's.
It's not
but
a great movie.
we are now doing an episode on Weekend at Bernie's.
Oh,
basically.
Yikes.
Yeah, this really ties into that theme.
It really does.
Yeah,
How did I
So-
not think of
there's
this
there's
before?
like
So-
a vice.
Should we give a little bit of context to what extreme embalming is?
Yeah. So I mean, it's
Because
it's
so wacky.
it's not really like the embalming itself is the same process that
Yeah.
you would for normal embalming.
It's not
the,
extreme.
But it's taking it to the umpteenth level.
it's
of
the
what you're-
posing
Yeah.
that makes it unique. So, there's a funeral home. One of the
Louisiana.
oldest. It's in New Orleans.
New Orleans.
And yeah, they call them extreme embalmings, but really it's posing. So there's like.
yeah.
Again, we'll post links to this, and we'll post links to the actual funeral homepage because it's gold.
extreme posing was
really good.
already taken by all those kids on razor scooters at the skate park.
Cool, dude.
Burn.
Like big guitar riff.
So
Yeah.
it's literally basically stuffing, like the idea of like
Well,
taxidermy, but for people. Basically,
It's like-
Well, I
Classic
mean, obviously,
embalming.
it's classic embalming, so they're
Yeah.
still going to need to be buried at some point because they will start to show signs of decay eventually. But it's like, okay, so for example,
But that's I'm saying for like for visual purposes, it's imagine
Yeah.
what you would like.
yeah, it's
per-
like they're posed. They're
Yeah.
posed. They're dressed in costumes. There's one fella here.
You can't keep them in your living room forever.
He's
like a,
in a
like
boxing
taxidermy
ring.
fox.
You could. Ed Gein did it.
Sure.
Gross. He's
really
in a
gross.
he's in a boxing ring, and he's got sunglasses on. He's posed up against the corner, and he's got gloves on.
Did they all have
Sunglasses?
sunglasses on? They all have
No,
sunglasses
all
on,
but
right?
one on
lot
the
of 'em.
on the website of the funeral home, which I need to find because it's amazing.
There was one body that was posed with his eyes open, which was just horrifying.
They're kind of like
Yeah.
half open. They're like he's like being a cool guy.
Are
It
they?
was like cool squinting.
Yeah.
Do they remove eyes when they like do
I don't know.
embalming?
I have no idea.
I would assume that they would replace them with glass eyes
Or
because your eyes get milky when you
Well,
die.
that's what I mean. I think,
Yeah.
or just take them,
Or like a contact
yeah, and put
lens or
something
something.
in there so that it keeps its shape and you, because the eyes are always closed, right?
I couldn't
Open
imagine
casket,
being
you
an
don't have to open
embalmer.
eyes open.
I couldn't imagine doing
Well,
that. for a
sometimes
job.
they have to glue eyelids
out
shut
people's
as
eyes.
well, though, because not everyone dies with their eyes closed.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it just depends on the situation, I think.
My cat threw
But I
up,
feel
my
like-
cat threw up on the floor yesterday, and it took me like half an hour just to clean it up
You could.
because I was like
So squeamish.
so squeamish and like
So
almost
funny to
puking.
me.
So I couldn't imagine being an embalmer
Yeah.
and having to pull out different set of eyes every couple hours.
We'll have to
Could
get.
not imagine.
We'll have to get somebody on here that does that. If you're out there and you do
Absolutely.
that, you work in funeral homes in any way,
If
really.
you're willing
Yeah.
to talk about this in a somewhat disrespectful manner
we're
and
trying.
potentially cost yourself business.
We're trying.
We're doing our best.
You gotta have respect. It's
Come
like
on the show.
but it's like the fun rule, right? You gotta make it fun.
It's true.
You gotta keep an upbeat attitude.
It's true.
Okay, I'm trying to.
And if
find
you
this.
don't agree with us, fuck you.
Wow, we are spicy today.
Yeah, we're
I mean,
very
it's,
spicy.
It's the tired.
It's the tired and just trying really hard not to be, or come like
Yeah.
just trying to. It's that
This
forced
is my
energy.
enthusiasm is just swearing at the audience. That's how I fade enthusiasm.
We don't mean it. We love you.
Fuck you.
Jasmine, have you found that website
No,
yet?
I'm looking.
Okay.
Sorry.
I will keep talking about
Yeah.
other stuff. You don't think you could embalm people? You don't think you could take out their organs? And
God, no. It took me like, I don't know, when I saw one of my friend's bodies at a funeral, it took me like the entire like hour and a half I was there just to like touch him.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It was like...
I always assumed it was like an art gallery. You're not supposed to touch them.
You can touch them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you.
But you
I think it depends on the
don't
funeral.
need
I've
to.
never. Yeah,
You definitely don't need to, but
I'm trying to remember if I did when my grandpa passed away. Like, because in the first episode I said I didn't even bother going in to see my grandma's body. I didn't have any interest in my grandpa's. I just didn't even think about it and just went in. And I remember seeing the body. I don't remember if I feel like I would have wanted to be like, what does a dead body feel like? Honestly.
yeah. It's funny because I'm not squeamish around like dead animals. Like I've worked with like as meat.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
food. Not squeamish at all.
Yeah.
But like as soon as I think of like a dead body,
What about like dealing with like a dead mouse or something like that? Even that doesn't bother you?
not so much.
Yeah,
The one time, this is disgusting, but I'm going to tell this story anyway.
Please.
I think you were at the when I did this thing.
Should we bleep out the name of the
Yeah,
restaurant?
probably.
Sure, I don't care. We can dock. I mean, you still work there, so
Yeah.
I don't want to
probably a
dox
good
you too
idea.
much.
Honestly, I don't
We'll
really
bleep out-
care
we'll bleep
either.
out the
just
name.
seems nice, but yeah, all right.
So there's a bit of a mouse problem there, and
Yeah, definitely don't.
It's right on
include
the
name of
water.
the-
it's right next to the water. It's Victoria.
ships
Pretty
coming
much
in all the
every-
time.
Pretty much every
Victoria,
restaurant.
rattiest city in BC.
Yeah.
it's true.
Congratulations, guys. We did it.
We did it.
Luckily, we don't have a huge rat problem there, but we had a lot of mice.
Yeah,
and
never.
there was an empty flower bin that they would oftentimes
Yes, I was there. I
fall
was the one
into.
that found it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
they would often fall in there, and then because the walls are so high, they couldn't get out. So if you didn't find them and take them out, they would die, and then they would start to rot and decay
there it is.
and stick to the flower bin.
Yeah, I remember this.
And so when I was removing it, I basically had to peel it off, and it was like taking off a sticker, where it's like you started to lift it, and parts of it stayed.
No,
Yeah,
like Paul. Yeah.
yeah, it was like trying to take off a bad sticker.
that is so gross.
And it's
Anyway, we were talking about extreme embalming.
Okay, I did find the site. That's Marin Funeral Home.
is it
You found
French?
the site?
It's in New Orleans.
It is. I think it is a Mexican or Latin. Everything is in Spanish.
Muerto.
Yeah. Somos las funeraria más famosa
Extremo.
del mundo. So I'm guessing that means some of the most famous funerals in the world, or
Okay.
something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't speak Spanish.
They just like
Backstreet.
I speak enough so that if I get lost in a Spanish-speaking country, I can find
You
my
can
way
figure it
out.
out.
I would just scream Canadian
Yeah, Canadian say.
hotel Canadian.
Donde está el baño?
Yeah.
Una cerveza.
Por favor.
I know a little bit of French. I could get by. They're similar.
So there is one eyes open one. It says ojos abiertos. That means eyes open.
Does he have pupils?
I'm just clicking on the enlarged
Sure.
image here so I can see this guy. He's posed in kind of a cool guy pose.
They all have cool guy poses.
He's like kind of giving like a little downward side eye.
Yeah,
He's
they all
in-
look real gangster.
Yeah,
like
they all
they look
kind
like
of are dressed like
album covers.
rappers for the most part. There's a couple older.
That's what they should have done for Tupac's like posthumous albums.
If this was the
Just
thing,
him stuffed.
stuffed on the album
Yeah.
covers.
yeah, there's like
That's what they should have done for the hologram.
That's what I want for my album cover is just a wax figure of myself.
oh my god.
Because they basically look like wax
They
figures.
do look like
They
wax
absolutely
figures.
look
yeah,
like-
it looks like a Madame Tussauds
There's a
deal.
guy
Totally.
riding a
but of
motorcycle.
not famous people.
Yeah.
Did you see the motorcycle?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw the
guy?
motorcycle.
I think the
on-
motorcycle one is my favorite. There's a guy on his, assumably his, like Repsol 800cc drag bike,
Wow,
and he
nice.
looks real fucking cool.
He does look cool. He's like looking straight ahead.
He does. Yeah.
He's
it's,
looking straight ahead, like he's in motion. Like
Yeah.
he's ready to make his getaway. I definitely, if you want something kind of amusing to look at
Yeah, we're not
marinfuneralhomepr.com. It's wild.
For the record, we're not laughing at these people. I think it's.
I
fucking
just
We're
think
laughing
you need
at-
to see it.
It's
We're laughing at the
ridiculous,
concept
but
of
it's
it.
but it's also fucking sweet.
We're just
fucking rad.
Yeah, I think if that's what people want and they want something truly different, there's
Dude.
one guy who's like dressed like the Green Lantern.
Yeah, that one is great. He's
he's,
got
like,
a
propped up
superhero
in a-
costume
It's
on.
funny
He's got
because
the
you
domino
could.
mask.
It's funny because you could do that in a coffin.
It's
But
true.
this guy is standing.
Yeah,
You gotta
it's like he's
be
a fucking
standing at
superhero.
the
Is he
side of a
holding?
room.
Is he holding a lantern in the
Let me check
Green
it out.
Lantern one? Because it's
Green
kind of
Lantern doesn't hold a lantern. He
He's-
has
he's
a
got
ring.
a ring.
no, but he's got a lantern to charge the ring. You guys.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
In dark, if I thought about it for a little while, I could pull out the chant.
He has. He
I don't even
definitely
like
has
Green
the
Lantern that
ring.
much.
He definitely has the ring. He's holding his hand. You guys just need to check it out because it's hard to describe because it's so.
So he has the lantern in the ring.
He has the ring and he's holding it up, like near his chest,
Yeah.
in a fist.
So fucking cool.
Yeah. So that's something that you could do. If you wanted a fun funeral.
So this is a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing that exists.
I think my favorite one is the subtle one of just the guy playing dominoes.
Yeah.
I like, for some reason, I'm just like, yeah,
You're into
that's-
it.
He's just.
Yeah.
I think it's his.
You could walk
like,
past him and be like, "Oh, he's just thinking really hard
yeah,
about that move."
yeah, yeah. I
He's
think part
really
of it-
making a meal of this.
Yeah.
He's
Damn.
also wearing. He's just wearing a sick tracksuit too. I think
Yeah.
that's probably part of it.
Yeah, it's a.
Yeah, we'll have a link to the website.
That's the other. Yeah, they're all dressed like super ballin', like real badass. Like,
Yeah.
nobody's wearing like a traditional like
No one's wearing-
suits or anything.
no one's
like
There's
wearing
a
that.
a
couple.
suit.
There's a couple older women. One of them, she's in like a.
didn't see the women.
She's in like a silk nightie, and the other one, she's like
Ooh,
like-
I know, right?
Sexy.
she's like quite elderly.
I stand by what I said.
All right.
I'm gonna own it.
Not that
Yeah.
you can't be sexy at that age.
Isn't there one where there's like an older woman on basically a throne,
Yeah, she's like
surrounded
she's like
by
straight diva.
yeah, surrounded by like
See if I
boas
can
and
find
flowers
her.
and stuff.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am getting more and more into this as it goes on.
It's pretty fucking rad.
I don't. I
I was creeped out by it initially, but
think
the more I
it
think about it, I'm
grows
like,
on
yeah,
you?
it's
Yeah,
fucking
Yeah,
cool.
I think that it's like wow, they've got some like really nice hearses too. Shit, it's like Pimp My Ride.
Oh, really?
Cool.
Exhibits just in there.
Yeah.
This-
Exhibit's
this-
like,
this
yo, I heard you
website-
like funerals, so I turned your Prius into a hearse. Yo, I heard you like embalming. I turned you into the Green Lantern.
Oh my gosh.
I installed this cadaver in your trunk.
Okay, there's one I overlooked, and it is someone posed upright in the driver's seat of an ambulance.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw that one because I
the
saw the
driver's
photo of the
seat?
ambulance, but I didn't even click on it because
Yeah.
I was like, what?
yeah, it's an ambulance.
Was it like
was
so-
he an EMT?
I would
I
assume.
assume so.
Or he just really wanted, like the guy who was not Green Lantern. He just wanted to be Green Lantern.
yeah.
This guy was not an EMT. He just really wanted to be
He's
an
like,
EMT.
it was my dream to be an EMT, and it never
Didn't have-
happened for me.
I didn't graduate high school, so I wasn't allowed.
Yeah, and it's like his family's like, he always wanted to be an EMT, and we're gonna make his last
Hold-
wish come
holding
true.
back tears. He's finally an EMT.
I think it was he died and they already had the ambulance in there. I don't know, just fucking throw him in there.
Yeah. Cheaper than a hearse.
I think it's very clear, like looking at these though, that they were super loved, you know, as
Oh,
well. Like
absolutely.
it takes a lot of
That's-
like, you gotta care a lot about someone to go through something like
To embrace
this.
that, yeah.
To buy
yeah,
them a Green Lantern
I do
costume
with-
after their death.
Yeah, fucking
yeah.
Or do you think
size
you
them
already
for that
had the
shit.
I think he already had it.
Probably
I think
he did.
I think if you're planning to get stuffed and be displayed, not stuffed, embalmed and be displayed, you're gonna like be like, this is the outfit I'm wearing.
Yeah.
But also, if he was a big enough fan of Green Lantern for that to be his last
had
outfit,
some
chances
outfits.
are that probably wasn't even his only
Yeah.
Green
Yeah, you're
Lantern
right,
costume.
for sure.
He probably had some Red Lantern costumes.
Yeah, Yellow Lantern, he had the whole spectrum.
Yeah.
But
Red
Green was
Lantern are
his
the bad
favorite.
guys, right?
Yes,
They're
and
evil?
then no, yellow, because yellow is fucking-
Red is power.
Green Lantern's weakness is the color yellow, which
Okay.
is real cool.
Sure.
I don't know if it's still
I just
that.
know that they're
ca-
like they
that way.
mean like green is courage,
I think
red
so.
is power,
Yeah.
and yellow is evil.
I don't know.
I don't know.
There's also a white one now. There's like every color now.
Okay.
They do a whole thing. I think white one is basically you're just God.
There must be blue, right?
Yeah, I think
gotta be
there's
blue.
I don't know.
Anyway,
I
I don't want to talk about the Lantern course.
I never.
It's
I
not
didn't-
really relevant
Yeah,
outside of that one cadaver.
Yeah, it's like I know this is creepy, but you know,
yeah, I didn't read.
it's
those
kind of
comments.
amazing though. I think it's great that people have more options to kind of express themselves a little bit, because that's always the saddest part, right? Is someone's like losing sight of who a person was during a funeral, right? You know,
Sure,
having
yeah.
your personality shine through.
A lot of my funeral experiences, thinking about it now, I realize they all blend together.
Yeah.
For the most part, like a lot of them, I wouldn't really be sure. Sometimes, like which funeral was that at? Almost because they're all just kind of the same. sit in those rows of seats, and,
Yeah.
people talk up front, and there's a picture. Or at least the funerals I've been to. I know
Yeah,
there are
a picture,
different
like a
funerals,
wreath.
but
Yeah.
Of some kind. Yeah, and
You
then
would
you have
remember
like
Green Lantern was
fucking
there.
triangle
You would.
sandwiches in the basement.
Yes, coffee and tea.
I think like
Haystacks and marshmallow squares.
Yeah.
the ultimate goal, I think, of these extreme embalmings is like it's like a legacy thing. It's like they're not
Yeah.
going to forget that I loved Green Lantern.
Yeah,
No one's
that's
going to
true.
forget that when they see me standing there dead in a Green Lantern costume.
Yeah, and
So
some
it's like-
funerals are like a big fucking deal. I mean, there's also like a cultural aspect to it. Rap funerals or
Rap?
gang members
funerals?
or like hip hop artists or something like that. Like
Oh,
you're more
like,
likely to have like
Like Nate Dogg's funeral. Do you see how huge that funeral was?
No,
It's massive.
was it?
Yeah.
just like extra flourishes, right?
I'll look up.
yeah,
I'll look up a picture of it. But
But
there's
these-
a picture of it from the sky, and it's like
yeah.
looks like a fucking concert.
Really?
I've seen a few like kind of gang member funerals that have been really elaborate.
Yeah.
And
Well, these are obviously guys and gals that are very image conscious.
yeah, exactly.
You know, right? So they have that in mind for
So why not keep
the
that up?
funeral. Yeah. Also, New Orleans, I think, as a city and like as a culturally, they are a little more on the celebration
Yeah,
side
they do
of death,
like wild, awesome,
and like parades and stuff like
so
that.
cool.
Like
I would
marching
love
down
a
the street.
Fucking band follow the processions.
Yeah.
Those are amazing.
Yeah, like a brass band coming
I'm never
behind
gonna
you.
have anything that good.
You could. We'll just start planning it now.
Yeah. Where would I find someone?
A band would be good. Why don't more
Then
funerals
people
have
would
just
be
bands?
protesting it for me being appropriative.
Yeah. Well, just pick really white music. You know, you just play some
Soulfly.
accordion.
Yankee Doodle.
Soulfly.
Just play Soulfly.
Just like throw the Bare Naked Ladies on.
Smash Mouth.
Oh my god.
Man.
Oh,
I can't find the picture.
I
of-
looked up gang funerals and I found gang member goes to his rival's funeral to slap him in his casket. Good
Wow.
Lord.
Nice.
Yikes.
Gonna slap that cast. It.
Do you have a stroke
Effortless.
mid-word?
I just bailed on it halfway through.
You're like, I don't believe in this joke anymore.
I'm
No,
not-
I just-
I'm not committed to this bit.
I just didn't want there to be silence for a little while and started talking, and I was like, I don't need. This is dumb. I'm gonna say
Okay.
this.
However, you got to rationalize it.
Sure, man.
I think we should talk a bit about what we would do if we had a fun funeral. What would our fun funerals
Yeah,
look
I
like? You
already
know?
told you. Race car bed.
Race car bed. I
Race
like
car
it.
bed, yeah,
Yeah.
so we got
So
Rob's.
you're going
Is
the-
that
you're-
really that? Like,
are you
that's
going
what
the-
you would do?
No, fuck no.
Are you going the
Are you kidding me?
embalmed route?
No, I don't know. I mean, if we're going funeral, I guess you'd have to.
You don't. You don't have to be displayed.
I would
want
wanna be-
There's a range of
Like
fun.
you be shot out of a cannon
Instead
or
of
whatever.
a hearse,
That would be
I think it would be really fun to have a parade float
Yeah.
and have like a throne or something.
Were you
With
planning on
you
being
on there and like
cremated?
a mechanism that
I
like.
haven't really thought about it too much.
Really?
No.
After all this, you haven't thought about whether you want to be cremated or
Well,
not?
I think green burial is probably like what
so
I
you
would.
will have a body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. But I like the idea of my corpse being paraded through town, and like not even at a parade pace, like at the regular speed limit. So just
So
going.
people aren't quite sure if they saw it.
Yeah.
Just
But like it's being followed by like black Cadillacs.
oh yeah.
So everyone's like, "What the
Wait.
fuck is
You're gonna have to
that?"
get like parade permits and shit.
Yeah. I think that'd be awesome.
And they're just like, oh,
And, like,
you're
a
gonna
really-
have to get a different permit because you're going too fast to be considered a parade.
Yeah, but like, and like the float would be like really resplendent, like covered in fake flowers.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
like,
Yeah,
garlands
yeah.
and shit.
Like
And then just,
Beyonce's pregnancy announcement.
yeah, and then like so like the platform that is the float, and then like another like 3 steps up from that would be a throne,
Yeah.
and I would be on that, probably dressed as a king.
Would you have people throwing candy out as well?
Sure.
Kids love that shit.
Yeah, you got
Yeah,
it.
sure. But they're not like tossing it; they're whipping it at pedestrians.
Yeah, there you go.
Denting cars and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not candy; it's rocks.
On second hand, not candy, just rock.
Just
Yeah.
rocks.
Yeah, I want my funeral to make like evening news.
Yeah, you're like,
Like,
if I'm
That's
gonna
a good
do
way
it,
to go out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want my family to have to deal with bullshit.
I would have like if I was gonna do something like that, I'd probably have like a set aside fund just for the lawsuits.
Just for the fines.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
the fines and lawsuits. That would be like part of my funeral budget.
Yeah,
It'd be like a
just all
couple
in
grand
nickels
just for
in giant
fines.
jars.
Yeah.
Well, there's got to be a permit for, because they do that sometimes, right? Where they drive the body to where it's going to be buried, and
Yeah.
it's like a
the
little
procession,
yeah. Like that's got to be a permit for. So you could get that permit.
Yeah, I do
Sure.
think like
Just don't tell them that you're on a parade float
Yeah,
instead of
yeah.
a hearse.
Yeah.
that's one of the benefits of booking through like a funeral home, right? Is that they have those built into the contracts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They have permits already
Yeah.
for transporting.
It's all lumped together.
Yeah, it's easier. But yeah, that sounds fun.
I also really like
What music would you have playing? What would be your procession song?
like X Gon' Give It To You.
Oh yes, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
He's not gonna wait for you to get it on your own. That's for sure.
No, he
I
is
also really
not.
like Hunter S. Thompson's funeral, where he shot himself out of a cannon
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
into the sun. That's
Yeah.
fucking cool.
that's funny.
That's a good way to like.
Or he shot his ashes. He was cremated
was his
first,
ashes,
and then his
yeah.
ashes were shot over the desert.
An
Yeah.
important clarification.
Very important.
He wouldn't make it to the sun otherwise.
But just like the giant, like they had a giant Gonzo fist, like in the middle of the desert, like Hunter S. Thompson's
Yeah.
logo, the Gonzo fist. They had like a fucking 60-foot high Gonzo fist, and the cannon was inside of that. So he shot his ashes out of a giant Gonzo fist. I'm like, all right,
It was very Hunter S.
Good
Thompson.
job.
Yeah.
Good
Super
job, buddy.
elaborate
Yeah.
and extravagant. Yeah, that's fun. I like that.
I think spectacle is appealing, right?
Yeah,
People
it
like
is, right?
spectacle to a certain degree. I
Get written about in Huffington Post.
just like evening news,
listicle.
like evening CTV or something.
Yeah.
you just want to be clickbait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazed parade float
Yeah.
Either-
weaves through the streets of
Either
Victoria.
Dead
lighthearted
body on top.
filler,
Dead body on top.
so we can just talk about how our planet is dying and how there's going to be world war. And it's just like, and in other news,
Yeah.
a fun funeral today.
Yeah.
I don't. How come the food at funerals is always so lame?
Because they get it at like Safeway. They get like party platters.
That's what I mean. Why not just order like a bunch of pizza?
So some catering.
Yeah.
Like just get some
Yeah.
skip the dishes.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Like that's
Or like get like a.
I
have,
don't
like
want
a-
any cucumber sandwiches with the crust cut off.
yeah. Nobody needs that.
Pass.
It'd be fun to have like an actual like dinner party,
Yeah, I'd like to have like
and
southern
then have your
barbecue.
embalmed body
At
head
the
of
table.
with like a knife and fork.
It
Yeah, I'm
looks
sure
like
everyone would have like a great appetite.
And it would be one of the eyes open ones. So you're just
Yeah.
like staring at a corner.
you just point it directly at one chair and you just
Yeah.
don't. Just whoever sits there gets the
It's like, you
unfortunate
have to eat
luck.
these ribs. It's what they would have wanted.
It's what he wanted. It was his favorite food.
Just like a Rockwell painting, but like
Yeah.
George A.
I
Romero
think
did it.
mostly like funeral food is shitty because people don't plan it. People don't say like this is what I want, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just get some pizzas.
Also,
Get
there's not a lot of
decent
time
food.
to plan. Yeah, catering as well.
Instead of like a fruit and veggie.
Yeah,
platter
and then just a
from
bunch of
Safeway.
baked. I think that's part of the problem too. I just don't have a lot of like I've never had much of a sweet tooth, so all the like the baked whatever.
Yeah, it's like
the
a lot of
little
it's like
pastries
the,
and shit. I'm
little
like, I don't.
church ladies who make the squares and the casseroles, and
Yeah.
that's what they do, and that's
Yeah.
their way to support their community.
Sure.
So there's a part of that that's nice.
I think there is that, but I think also a lot of times it is just the funeral home is like, oh, we go to Safeway, we get these platters. It's built into the thing as well, or whatever,
Yeah.
right? And
Sure.
then you get the thing of coffee and the thing of tea.
Yeah.
And orange juice.
Yeah, you pay $60 extra for that package.
Yeah. Real
Or whatever.
classy.
For $20 worth of save on platters or whatever.
Just because it's like I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just whatever. We got to have some kind of food.
Yeah, it is
there.
true. Yeah, but it is like you gotta have food there, and it's one less thing to deal with. I understand the idea of it. I just think there's other shit you could get that would be better. That wouldn't really be any more
I
expensive.
like the barbecue idea because everyone can kind of bring something,
Yeah,
and it's more
like
of
a
like a
potluck.
community experience,
Mhm.
you know. And also, it's like something you can plan short notice. Whereas like catering or even ordering pizza or something like that, you need to kind of have a little bit of
Yeah, you could give ahead of time.
yeah.
You guys are thinking small potatoes.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're being
Listen,
very
you got-
practical here.
I'm just
these are very
planning-
practical
I just
funerals.
don't want anyone to be hungry.
I'm just-
I want
I'm planning on being poor for my entire life, so I'm
I
just
want-
looking to that.
I want
good
the
plan.
parade float. Once my parade float is done its procession, pulls up at a Chuck E. Cheese.
a Chuck E.
We
Cheese.
rented the entire Chuck E. Cheese.
I'm
My
honestly,
pallbearers carry my throne into the Chuck E. Cheese, and then
Yeah.
we eat there and play skee ball.
Arcade or whatever. That's a good
I
one
love
too.
kid casinos. Kid casinos are so fun.
Yeah.
best.
Yeah, you go to like that's a good one too. Like have a bunch of activities and
It's
shit
just like
for
you
people
can't
to
help
do.
but have fun.
Exactly. There's fucking flashes, lights,
What, you're
and
just
noises.
gonna
and
scare all the other children there?
No, you rent out the entire Chuck E. Cheese.
Fucking Beyonce here.
Come on, it's not that expensive. If I'm already paying like thousands of dollars just for the fines, the bylaw infractions,
Yeah.
So
I
what's
could
your
probably afford
what's your
$400
budget for
to-
your funeral?
Oh god, it's probably like in the
Like 500,000.
5-digit the
What is-
5-digit number.
what does a funeral cost? Just like a normal funeral these days.
Couple grand.
It's
Ish.
depends on if you're doing the full route and if you're paying for a grave plot, because grave plots are fucking stupid expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's gonna be.
I would say
obviously-
probably, I'm pulling this completely out of my ass, but on a feeling.
What do you feel up there?
I feel like it's probably between 2,500 and $8,000 for most
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, sure. And obviously, you can just tack on an extra grand for every Chuck E. Cheese you want to stop at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
According to
Just do a tour of every Chuck E. Cheese in
It
BC.
sounds really labor intensive.
Yeah.
according
Gotta
to
put that body on ice.
Yeah. Dry ice it. There's a big walk-in cooler that they have to carry my throne and body into every
Yeah,
4
cooler
hours.
van. Yeah.
according to parting.com, today the average North American traditional funeral costs between $7,000 and $10,000.
Yeah, wow.
This
That's
price
American
range.
as well.
This price range includes the services at the funeral home, burial in a cemetery, and the installation of a headstone. So this is not cremation, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
That's like
Yeah,
traditional burial.
cost for casket $2,300, embalming $500, cost for using the funeral home $500,
Like,
and
who
the
can
actual
afford
funeral
to
service.
fucking die at
Cost
those
of grave
costs?
site $1,000, cost to dig the grave $600, cost of a grave liner or outer burial container $1,000. So you got an outer burial container and a casket.
Huh.
Fee for the director's services is $1,500, and cost of a headstone is $1,500.
Damn.
And that's just for the main items.
And that's not the plot. That's not food. That's not flowers.
Yeah.
Probably not procession.
Obituary, that's another thing you got to pay for.
What?
Putting the obituary
In
in
the
the
news?
newspaper.
Yeah, I think you legally have to do an obituary as well.
Yeah, I think so.
Huh.
I think you
Yeah.
can get literally just like name
So-and-so
and
died.
death, and that's it, and that's not.
I wish
but-
obituaries included the cause of death. That would be really.
We should write our own obituaries for this thing too.
Would love to do that. I'm realizing now that I haven't thought about my own funeral
Yeah, no, neither. Like
at all.
I
I've
mean,
had
you guys
that
know
like,
mine now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's gonna be fucking rad.
I've had that like. I thought of like really dumb fun stuff to do, but I haven't had like a practical.
No.
Yeah, I think probably, like, I do like the idea of a celebration of life. There's part of me that thinks it sounds cheesy.
No, but that's.
But-
I think there's a reason why so many people want that, right? It is.
Well, I definitely don't want somber, and I'm not churchy, so obviously no church is involved.
Yeah.
And I want to keep it as low waste as possible, but I still want to have, I don't know, maybe plant a tree or something.
Yeah.
So there's a spot.
That people can kind of go and.
Yeah, like Adam's mom has a bench.
Yeah.
Out on the dikes of Pitt Meadows. It's a really pretty spot, and it's like we could go there and just think of her and visit, and it was like a place, you know, and so I think that can be helpful, especially when it's like in a nice environment.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Not like
That bench thing is interesting. I've noticed, like, yeah,
I like the idea of being useful.
yeah, right,
Of it being just like a practical thing. It's just
Yeah.
like my dad paid for this bench.
yeah.
Enjoy.
Park your booty.
Yeah. Enjoy the, looking over at the
Enjoy
the water,
sitting. Yeah,
you
take a
know?
break.
I do enjoy sitting
I
a
do too.
lot.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
It's almost as good as lying down.
Yeah,
Not quite. Pretty close. Depends on the chair.
Yeah. I'm
Certain
gonna have to
chairs.
get more comfortable chairs for you guys. I feel
This is
like.
fine.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I'm like pretty dead inside today, so I could be sitting on a bed of nails and I'd be like, it's fine.
yeah, this is all right. I'm all
I
right.
don't care.
I'm
I'd
dealing with
be
it.
suffering either way.
Yeah. What about Jordan's funeral?
Yeah. What's your funeral?
I don't know. I like.
Like, if you could just go all out, if you were gonna.
It's either guys something that's like really important to you, or it's like just go all the fucking way over the top.
I guess. I don't know. There'd probably be like art and shit, right?
Yeah. Sure.
So maybe like an exhibition of that stuff.
Ooh,
That
of
would
your
make
art?
sense. Yeah.
That would be great.
And then people could just, I don't know, they could buy it and the money goes to charity.
Sure.
A charity of your choice.
Or
Yeah.
maybe it goes to paying for your funeral.
No.
No?
No, I'll pay for that.
Fine.
I guess.
If I must.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought of that now.
Yeah, I like it.
I think music
be
is
like
you should
wine
have like
and
a
cheese
band or something.
platters?
No, wine for sure.
Wine for sure.
Like, you gotta have cheese, I guess, but no pizza, man. I'm telling you, pizza. Or
Pizza.
like
Yeah.
like Indian food. Yeah,
Mm.
just giant like tubs of like dal masala and just naan bread.
What do they call the tiffins? The Indian food, like silver food carrier thing.
Oh, is that what they're called?
Yeah, I don't
Tiffins.
know.
I didn't know the name.
Everyone gets tiffin full
Yeah,
of Indian food.
Yeah, like that.
I'd be okay with that.
I'm getting more
Dope.
into this. This is
Yeah.
sounding like a decent idea.
Sounds like
Yeah.
a fun party.
I think
is
there
what it
should be
sounds like.
there should be music. Like, you gotta have a band play.
What kind of music?
I don't know.
Like a Misfits cover band.
Something really specific.
Yeah.
I don't know. What would be good like funeral music? Or you could just play just a Cab Calloway cover band.
Sweet.
A little old school swing jazz.
Not too familiar.
I don't know. I really like Cab Calloway.
Classy, like.
Yeah.
Your class act, Jordan.
Yeah, I don't know. That would be all right.
I'd
It still sounds kind of like.
Hey, I'd go to your funeral.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks.
It still sounds a little like kind of just bleh, though.
No,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
Oh,
It's
really?
like
I think that's really cool. I mean, you have a body of work, right?
I don't care what happens to my body at all. So that's
No.
not something that I like literally don't do the easiest thing you can, like donate it. I
Yeah.
like the idea of like my cadaver going to like I don't know, to like a medical school or something like that, or I still
Yeah.
kind of like the idea of like an art school people fucking
Yeah.
drawing my cadaver or like my bones or whatever, but I feel like that would cost money and I don't really care that
Or
much
be like
to
a transportation hassle or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
Like,
Would be a hassle for the
There's-
people I leave behind.
there's like registry groups that take care of all that shit if you want to donate your body to science.
Is there?
Yeah.
I've
it's
heard
true, but it's not guaranteed. So some people are just like, oh yeah, just donate my body to science, and
If
then
you
they
have a
die,
really- if you
and
have
they're
a
not
really
eligible.
interesting- If you have a really interesting body, though,
Yeah.
like
Oh, you guys should see what's under here. It's
Humble-
terrible.
humble
Oh,
brag,
yeah.
humble brag. I have this condition called situs inversus totalis, where all of my organs are mirror image,
What?
but they all function.
Like
So
it's reversed.
everything's reversed. Everything's mirror image.
So your heart's on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
That
Yeah.
is really interesting.
That is kind of super
yeah.
cool.
So it's
Probably an option for
probably
you.
a huge yeah,
Yeah.
and I always forget about that, but it's like I don't know. I think I was diagnosed when I was like 12 years old, and I was like told then by doctors like you'd be a great candidate for
Yeah.
donating your body to science.
That
And I'm
is-
like, I'm 12.
That's a fucked up. Yeah, that is a fucked up thing to say to
Yeah.
a child.
yeah,
And also,
Who was your
12
doctor?
years.
yeah.
It
yeah.
took 12 years for them to realize.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Going to see Doctor Evil for your checkups?
So it's like the reason it took so long to get diagnosed is like I was a really sick kid, and they thought it was asthma, they thought it was bronchitis, like chronic bronchiectasis, and then eventually it got so bad that I had to go in and get X-rays of my lungs,
Mm-hmm.
and they did it 3 times. The first 2 times they thought the slides were backwards, so they're like, "Oh, let's just do it again." We put the slides in backwards. They did it again. They're like, "Oh, that's weird. We put it in backwards again. Let's do it one more time." And the last time they marked which side was the right side.
Oh, yeah.
And then that was like proof to them that it wasn't in backwards. And they're like, "Your organs are mirror image." And everyone's like,
Whoa.
"What?" But yeah, I've always had like really bad lungs and sinuses because of that. Because not to get too into the medical side of it, but you know what cilia are?
Yeah.
They're the little microscopic hairs. They live in your throat. They live in your lungs. They live in your sinuses.
Yeah.
And they basically sweep stuff out.
Yeah.
They sweep gunk out. Mine don't work. So
Oh.
when you're a little bebe, you're a little like tube basically of human meat and organs.
That's what I've always called them, yeah.
Yeah, you're like a little tube.
Little
And
meat
everything
burritos.
everything is kind of standing up more or less. And then your cilia act as like traffic directors, and they tell your organs which way to kind of move. But if they don't work, all of your
Oh.
organs basically guess.
Oh,
There's a 50-50
interesting.
chance of them flopping the right way or the wrong way.
Yeah, they'll just go wherever.
But
Wow.
everything works.
Really? So your cilia have that much to do with how your organs settle?
Yeah.
I did not know
I
that.
had no idea.
That's
That's
very
really
interesting.
Yeah.
What? Sorry, what's the name of the condition again?
Situs inversus totalis, or Cartagener's syndrome.
Cartagena syndrome.
So
Cartageners or Cartageners.
are you actually just the evil version of yourself from the
Well, that's what the
alternate
goatee is
mirror
for.
dimension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've invaded this dimension and I killed the
The good Rob.
the positive reality Rob. I am the negative reality Rob.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
Just good to
But
know.
yeah, like I'm like the perfect candidate for something like donating your body.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Gifting your anatomy, they call it.
So they never like checking your heart or anything like that, like with
Because so the thing about your heart is it's not over here.
it's actually pretty
It's like
centrally,
really close to the middle.
so it's not a
So
big
it's
enough
like
difference.
they're listening and they're like, oh, you got kind of like a quiet heart, basically, is
Yeah.
how they would refer to it. But you can still hear it. If your heart's over here, you can still hear
you
it.
can still
over
hear
here.
it. Yeah.
So, and there's no other way really to tell.
Wow.
And the only other thing that would have caught it is when I was like 19, I had appendicitis, and they would have went into the wrong side.
Oh yeah,
So that's the only other way that they would have found it eventually.
that could have been dangerous.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, they have like the way that they did my appendectomy was like with a laser, and the cut is like half a centimeter long.
Yeah.
So it's like they'd go in there, they'd stick the camera in, they'd be like, "It's not here,"
Yeah.
and then hopefully they'd figure it out. They wouldn't just assume I have
No, yeah.
appendix.
Yeah. Oh, well, everything's fine.
Yeah.
And I'm
I
like,
just
"No,
mean
it's not."
timing. Yeah.
Ugh.
I just mean timing wise, I guess, because I had a friend in this was in elementary school, but he stayed home from school because he had a stomach ache for like 3 days and went to the doctor, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you're like, it's about to burst. We have to take you into surgery right now, or you're gonna die."
Yeah.
And it was like
That's how it
that kind of
happens.
situation, right? So
Yeah.
Whoa.
I feel like if that's like they go in and they're like, "Oh shit," like if there's
They
a time
said-
limit on these
They
things.
said that my appendix was like 2 hours away from exploding.
Yeah.
It was so big.
Yeah, that's what I think he got the same
Yeah.
thing. Like it's just hours.
Yeah.
That's really scary.
Yeah. So I like you have to imagine like what if you were on the top of a mountain somewhere,
Yeah.
or like out on a boat in the ocean.
Yeah.
You just-
Certainly
you
there are people
die
who
of
are
appendicitis.
dying of
Yeah.
appendicitis in the world.
Yeah.
Don't have
Terrifying.
access to health care.
Luckily, I was in my hometown
Yeah.
with a readily staffed hospital.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, scary.
Yeah. Totally
That was also
scary.
the first time I got to try morphine, and goddamn is
Oh,
morphine
it's
great.
good. Yeah, you can see why
I
people are
understand
into
why people
it,
are
right?
addicted to it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This is good stuff.
I don't think I've ever had morphine.
I had a little button next to my bed.
Oh, nice.
So they told me you can't ding this button more than once per hour. And I set an alarm on my wristwatch
For an
for
hour?
every hour.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is good.
Should we talk about dead bodies more?
Yeah. Fuck it.
Funerals.
I mean,
More
that
than
was related.
bodies. I like the idea of like, I think obviously I don't really want a burial again because I want people to pick at my body like crows and make as much use of it as possible.
Sure. Eat the whole thing if you want.
Yeah,
What?
and then alkaline hydrolysis, the rest.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then
I like that. I think
Yeah.
that like alkaline hydrolysis.
that's the only time I'll ever
Okay.
go back to Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Burn on Saskatchewan.
Burn.
But I like the idea of like maybe building an urn for myself because
Okay.
I do like the idea
'Cause
of
you get
having that physicality, that
and you get
relationship.
that nice white bone powder
Yeah.
from alkaline hydrolysis.
Yeah, I could
Yeah.
have like a
Pure white bone powder.
like a glass urn,
Yeah.
so
yeah.
you could see
Like
that
an
powder.
hourglass.
Oh,
Yeah.
Filled with your
turn yourself into an
bones.
Ooh,
hourglass.
hourglass urn. I like
Wow.
that.
Yeah, that's
That's
not bad.
good. That's really good.
Figured it out.
Because
Well
it would
done.
be if you did. Because it would be such like a fine white powder. It would work
Yeah.
well for that too. I would think.
Like sand through the hourglass.
These are the
That's
days
a fucking,
of our
That's
death.
a cool idea.
Yeah, it's
I
really
like
cool.
that
I
a
like
lot.
that a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Let's all do it.
Yeah, let's all just
The
be
hourglass.
hourglasses.
The hourglass measures the amount of time your entire life took.
I was trying to think
Just
of
like the
It's like-
tiniest little.
Yeah, the tiny like one grain, like one single grain passes through it every like hour.
Yeah.
It'd have to
What
be
would
s-
you like? What would you? I mean, I guess you would just get whatever the amount of powder they have, but like, I wouldn't mind mix me up with more to make the right amount of time.
Sure,
But
Sand from
Like-
your favorite beach or something.
yeah.
grind
Well-
it all up.
What would you like? What time would you choose? Would there be like
4:20.
4:20, bro?
4 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, if I was like a superstitious person, I would choose like the hour of my death.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, so it would be if you died at 5 o'clock, it'd be like 5 hours of it,
Or 5 minutes.
5 minutes,
5 hours probably.
5
yeah.
hours.
It's a long hourglass.
Yeah.
Yeah, Like, it just have to be a few minutes.
I
Like,
just honestly don't care how much time it would measure as long as it was like a precise amount. So it wasn't just like
so it was actually measuring
a
something.
minute and 30 seconds or some
So you're
shit.
useful to in some
Yeah,
degree.
it's like Adam's presumably gonna live longer than me as well. I just assume everyone's gonna. You're all gonna outlive me.
I have the same thought.
Yeah.
Whatever.
He's gonna use it to like
Agree to disagree.
time
I
his
mean,
boiled
I have
eggs
the
or
same
something.
thought
He's
that
like
I
a minute
plan
and a
to
half. That's for the boiled egg.
Oh
and then
yeah.
Jasmine goes through
Get it?
this.
So like the perfect soft boil is like 5 minutes and 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Just get to measure that.
Yeah, you could. I guess you could specifically have a
like something like
task for it.
Yeah, something like your favorite food. Like time it for your
It's
favorite
definitely
food.
not soft boiled eggs.
But I mean, like something like that would be interesting.
How long does it take to make a spicy rolled corn chip?
Yeah,
'Cause
right.
That's my shit.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, you just set it for like a minute so people can play Pictionary.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Ooh, charades.
5 minutes.
Sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
With your
Literally
body.
play with your body.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, make it like a pretty hardy material so kids can play with it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you'd have to.
Yeah.
It would
Imagine
be,
that
it
thing
would be
breaking
fucking
open. Oh, fuck.
irresistible as a child. Like a
A dead body. Hourglass?
giant ornate hourglass, even if you don't know it's full of ashes.
Yeah.
It would
Yeah,
just
because
be,
you got to make it super ornate too. This is what we should do.
Yeah, I picture like a gold frame
Yeah, for
with
sure.
the posts.
I'm like, or like hand, like carved out of wood.
Ooh,
Sure.
with some sort of message, like my catchphase.
Like, get
I don't know what my
fucked.
catchphrase is.
Get fucked.
Weary
According
sigh.
to this podcast, it's oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
According to this podcast.
Dot. Yeah.
According to this podcast, it's
You know I'm self-conscious about that, Rob.
Yeah.
don't make fun of my tongue clicking.
Think about your funeral. Write us about your funeral.
I would
Yes.
love to
What do
hear.
you want?
Or if you
The sky's the
if
limit.
you've already attended a funeral or something like that,
Yeah.
what was your experience
Best
with
funeral experiences. We'll try to read best stories every chance we get.
it? Mm-hmm.
And yeah, for sure. You guys send in interesting stuff for us to read.
Yeah.
We will.
We will do our best to cover everything.
We will put it on the show
Yeah.
if it's
Yeah,
Worth
If
putting
you have
on
an
the show.
idea,
considering there's only like 14 of you watching or listening, so
we appreciate you so much.
we'll be able to get to all of your comments. Don't worry.
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, pick up on the first ring.
Yeah. We won't screen your calls.
Yeah. Oh, thank goodness.
Okay, well, this is the Death podcast. You can find us on all social medias, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at deathpod. Gmail is deathpod@gmail.com. I'm
Yeah.
Jordan,
I'm Rob.
I'm Jasmine.
and that's about it.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys. Episode 5.
Yeah, in the books.
In the
Remember,
books.
we're all gonna die.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.